Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Rosemary Writes. I'm Rosemary, and this is episode 3 of my journey to finally writing my book. And if you're just tuning in, thank you for joining me. And if you've been here, welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. So, today we're going to be talking about the first few chapters of your first draft. And it's exciting and terrifying, and everything is possible and nothing feels right. I officially started writing mine, and one of the biggest challenges I've had so far is not editing as I go. Whenever I stop for the night and I come back, I usually read the last bit of what I wrote previously, and the urge to change things or tweak sentences to perfect what I wrote previously before moving on is so strong and so difficult to deal with. It's a process, and I have actively had to stop myself from doing so. I've had to constantly tell myself it's not supposed to be perfect. Your first draft is never perfect. It's supposed to be messy. It's about getting the story on paper. And even though I tell myself that, there's a part of me that still struggles with actually going through with that. But one thing that really hit me while I was rereading was that I got stuck in a spiral of whether I should stay in third person limited or switch to first person. And it's a small detail, one would think, but it literally changes the entirety of a novel. And I kept thinking, because it's so deeply entrenched in my main character, Anamile, her journey, her struggles with everything, that maybe first person would be better. So I actually went back and rewrote the first few chapters in first person just to compare and contrast, which is another reason I haven't gotten past my first few chapters. I love third person limited. It allows you to maintain a very slight distance from the characters, which can be useful for building suspense and creating a broader view of the world. But at the same time, it's just sometimes easier for me to really breathe life into my character when it's in the first person. My character is not me. The way I would react is not the way she is reacting. And that's what makes it a little difficult when I'm not in first person, because then I'm thinking about me as the author instead of her as the character. It's a little difficult. But after a lot of agonizing, oh my goodness, agonizing and rewriting, I've tentatively decided to stick with first person. It wasn't an easy decision to make because I don't want to get too far into the story and realize that I made the wrong choice. But I'm just going to go with my gut instincts on this one and try to push forward without second guessing myself too much. And if it turns out later that I do need to change the perspective, well, that's what revisions are for, right? But despite all of that, I've actually been feeling fairly good about my progress. I haven't exactly been hitting my word count goal every day, but I've been close enough that I'm feeling pretty confident about it. And progress is progress. Even if it's not exactly what I planned, the key is consistency. Just showing up to write, even on the days where it feels like I'm pulling my teeth out. And it's like that a lot. I am the type of perfectionist that decides if I don't put it out there, I can't fail at it. So it's difficult. But when I do start to sort of doubt myself and waver, I actually go to TikTok. And specifically, I've been watching videos about how horribly men write women. It's hilarious and sad and strangely motivating. And I also listen to people read books that I objectively think are awful, because I think, hey, if that piece of junk can make it into the best-selling novels, mine definitely can. And I know you're not supposed to compare yourself to other writers, but you have to do what you have to do, right? Whatever motivates you, whatever keeps you moving forward is something that you should develop. So, overall, one of the most valuable lessons I've taken away from my very first few chapters of my first draft is that it's about making choices and sticking with them, at least for a while. It's easy to get caught up in the what ifs and second guessing every decision, but at some point you just have to commit and move forward. And that's where I am right now. I've made my choice with a perspective. I've rewritten the few chapters that I had differently, and I'm pushing ahead, trusting that the story will unfold the way it's meant to. I have my plot, I have my characters, I just have to trust the process. So, if you're struggling with choosing a perspective, or the urge to resist editing as you go, or just trying to stay motivated, just know that you're not alone. I am right there with you, and either writing a book or that drawing or whatever project you're on, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and it's okay to have up and downs along the way. Not every day is going to feel like a win. And the important thing is just to keep going, even if the progress is just a few extra words on the page, an extra stitch in that knitting project, a couple of lines in that drawing, whatever it is. Even the smallest parts add to the whole. So just keep going. I'm right there with you. And that's actually the end of the episode for today. I know it's pretty short. I'm just at the beginning of the novel, so there's not much to talk about. But thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope that my experience resonates with you and maybe helps you navigate your own writing challenges. Until next time, this is Rosemary, signing off. This is just a quick disclaimer here. If you've been watching this on YouTube instead of listening to it, the images on the screen are from a game called Lemon Cake. It was just something fun and sort of mindless for me to do in the background while everything was going on. Okay, this time for real. Bye, everyone.